Welcome to Seven Skills for the Future podcast. My name is Emma Sue Prince and I am author of Seven Skills for the Future book. And this podcast and the book are all about raising awareness of 7 key skills. Those skills are adaptability, empathy, critical thinking, integrity, being optimistic, being proactive, and being resilient. And we explore how we can bring these skills into our day-to-day lives so that they really impact our relationships, our work, our happiness levels, and just everything that we do. And today I am so delighted to be welcoming Karen Gibson, Choir Director of Kingdom Choir, Gospel Choir, to the show. Karen has become very well known in the last 18 months to 2 years in particular. Her choir was featured at Harry and Meghan's royal wedding back in May 2018 when they performed a fantastic rendition of Stand By Me. And they have gone on to claim the world through touring, through sharing their gift of gospel singing. And Karen is also a very dear friend of mine. So I've known Karen for a long time, and she also introduced me to gospel singing and to a love of singing in choirs. Karen is a wonderful, talented, inspiring person. She has done so many amazing things with her life. She has worked with choirs all over the world. Long before she became really well known through Kingdom Choir and Stand By Me, her choir was performing in lots of different places. They've also been together for a very long time. Karen was a judge on BBC Gospel Choir of the Year competition and featured in various other TV programs, and just constantly busy and constantly working and developing her skills. And what I love about this interview is how Karen talks about her journey and really the changes that she's had to embrace and deal with as a result of basically becoming a celebrity kind of overnight. And it's also interesting because when we hear about these stories, it's easy to believe that these things happen quickly. And obviously in her case, it did happen very, very fast. As soon as they had performed that song at the royal wedding, they just became a sensation. They just became headline news. But actually, Karen and her choir had been working incredibly hard for a very, very long time. And I think it's important to remember those stories behind somebody's climb to fame. And Karen in this interview also talks about resilience, and she talks about the importance of having this strong support network around you through the choir, through the friendships in the choir, and through really knowing each other very, very well and supporting each other through this incredible process of change where they've just had to suddenly learn all kinds of new skills, really up the ante when it comes to a world tour or when it comes to performing in America in these big, huge arenas. And that resilience is also about her faith, and it's also about the connections that she has and makes with audiences. And that's the same, she told me, whether it's, a group of people doing a workshop or a group of people in a massive, massive stadium. So enjoy the interview with Karen. I think there is a lot that we can all learn from her story and from her experiences, and just her warmth and her energy. So I am absolutely delighted to welcome my dear friend Karen Gibson to the show. Karen is a sensational and inspirational gospel choir director, but I'm also very proud to call her my friend. Thank you so much, Karen, for coming on the show today.
Thank you, Emma Sue. It's a real honour and a privilege to be here, and lovely to be speaking with my friend again. It's great to connect.
Yeah. There's so much I want to talk to you about. But I think the first question I have is, the last 18 months have been an absolute whirlwind for you, I can only imagine. And I'd love to just ask you, in what ways has your life changed, and what have you loved about this, and, what's been perhaps more challenging?
How has it changed? I think the spaces that the choir have been privileged to inhabit, that has changed. So, the choir's been going for about 25 years. And actually, we started off quite high profile. We'd done things on TV. We'd, appeared with several celebrities. But then we came to a pause about 2008. I started up again in 2013, and we were really just doing local events, nothing very high profile at all, not in this country. And so now the spaces that we're inhabiting and the not only the spaces, it's the profile, and it's where we're being asked to go and sing and perform. That has been amazing. Being able to record an album courtesy of Sony, being signed to, such an amazing company. They're iconic in the industry. Being able to go on tour across England and soon to be America. These are incredible things. Yeah. And I often use the term unwent dream because, these are things that people in the industry, if you're a singer, if you're a performer at all, you want to be able to, to share your craft from a platform where, more people can be touched by it, be blessed by it, whatever the words you want to use. That's what you dream about. But I never saw this coming. We never saw this coming. So, going down the road still after 18 months and being recognised as, are you the lady who sang at the choir at the wedding?
Yes.
That's incredible to me. That means that we really made a mark.
Yes.
And people are so grateful and complimentary. And, I feel that it feels like there was some sort of shift, something that happened, for the communities that support us. That's how it feels.
Yeah.
Even the way that I travel now, it has changed. I go down to Clapham Junction or Victoria and I think, I've been here for a while. Yeah.
Now about 18 months, because I imagine for the choir to be at the royal wedding, that window could have been quite small afterwards, right?
It's quite surprising. I do think we owe a lot to our amazing management. Jonathan Shallett has opened up lots of opportunities, and he's been in the industry for a while, so he's got very good connections. So I think it's partly to do with that, but I think it's also something to do with the wedding, the royal couple. I think it's a lot to do with the song and something about the way the choir delivered it that really kind of ignited something in people. But yes, you're quite right. That window, we actually had been recording our own EP, and we thought, we're singing at the royal wedding. Let's record our single and get it out there just afterwards, not knowing that there would be this mad activity afterwards, and what we'd be doing was recording an album.
Along the way, that you...
Absolutely. Having to navigate our way through a space that we haven't been used to. that's been quite a thing, because we were rehearsing every other week in my front room. And we had to go from that to rehearsing twice a week in various halls and studios, and then recording, and having just the practicalities and the logistics of that. Having to manage expectations of people outside and within the choir as well.
Yes.
Having to learn a different language, a different protocol, because now we are speaking to people that we've never spoken to before. We're dealing with people that we've never had to. We're having to learn different skill sets. We're having to, get knowledgeable and level up are the words that we use a lot. We're having to level up. Learning when to say yes, learning when to say no, learning when to say no, thank you, and then. And, just really having wisdom to keep our why strong and to really not get distracted by, well, I don't think anybody's trying to be famous. I don't think that. That's not what we're trying to do here. But having to still really counsel each other in that being a thing. It's ongoing. The challenges are ongoing. So first it was we got management, and then we signed to Sony, then we recorded an album, then it was all the PR and the promo and Christmas, and then it was the UK tour, and having to learn, what really is going on here. What are we actually doing? How does this work? And now we're taking the tour to another country. In fact, it's it's America and Canada, and so that's a whole other ball game altogether. So yes, the challenges have been many. They're internal and they are external. They're individual and they are corporate.
You about resilience. So how do you remain resilient, and also being in the public eye? Activity as well. So how have you managed that? People being critical about what you're doing, people being negative perhaps, but also just retaining that resilience around all those different challenges.
My faith plays a great part in this. And so my faith, the focus of my faith has not changed at all. And so the reason I was running around several schools, or the reason why I was running around these various countries, running workshops up and down England itself, that is my why, because I feel that and the UK tour really taught me that music is powerful, music is a healer, and music can change lives. And I've seen it over and over and over again. I saw it in schools. I saw it when I went to Europe. I've seen it up and down the country, the workshops, and we saw it on the tour. The testimonials really told us the power of what we're doing here. So keeping the why strong, remembering what has happened before, remembering our history, reminding ourselves of the history and what's been done before. As for negative criticism, I'm actually not privy to too much of it. I've seen a few, and sometimes you can tell things by silences. But again, I know why I'm doing what I'm doing. And we counsel each other a lot. I have a very strong leadership team, and some of whom are actually the women that I grew up singing with, who I've known for most of my life. And in fact, they were part of my first singing experience, New Dawn, including my sister, my stepsister, my good friend and her sister, and then another good friend. There were 6 of us. And so most of us have either returned to the choir or still in the choir. And because they're my good friends, and because I've known them for many years, there's a trust there, and there's a certainty there, and there's a bond, and there's a strength in that means actually we're in this together. We've been in it actually for many years. It feels like we've been groomed for this, and so that helps to keep people strong. You know, so and we are a choir of Christians. We're a choir of faith. And so we turn to our faith. We turn to our God. several times a week.
Yes.
And we pray together, we worship together, we laugh together, we eat together, we cry together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very, very
and
powerful.
those are huge factors when it comes to resilience. Some of the things you're talking about, so that strong support network, you know, remaining true to your whys, you know, to why you're doing something, having a faith, having spirituality. These are actually all very important when it comes to being resilient. So it's very inspiring to hear you talk about these things actually, you know, in the day-to-day, you know, how that works day-to-day. I mean, you were talking about your whys, and I know, you know, I've known you for many years, and I know you've done so many wonderful things throughout your career, so meaningful, changing people's lives through music. My life was changed through singing in your choirs, and lots of people. So when I think about that journey, so for me, I see that as success. You know, but many people, or some people, maybe not many people, but some people might look at success in terms of what you're doing now. You know, the tours and the, you know, all of this. So I'd like to ask you what success means to you. Now, how would you define success?
My love tank is filled up when somebody writes me and tells me that my life was changed. When you taught me, or when I heard you singing, that to me is success. I mean, that's the thing that is lasting. And I feel that's the thing that we should be going for. Some people see success as a car or a house or being famous, but actually, I will always maintain that some of my best moments was when I was teaching in schools, and when I saw the light in those children's eyes switch on when they saw that actually they could do it, or, you know, when we got some sort of breakthrough, or they would say something that was so powerful and so meaningful. And I feel so lasting. I do feel that things that happen to you when you're young, you know, they stay with you and they resurface time and time again. And I will maintain that some of my best moments, the platforms are lovely and the stages are great, but nothing, I don't know what beats touching the heart of young people, and or seeing a life or a heart turned around, somebody healed from some traumatic event. To me, that's my why. That's success to me. When I get a testimonial, it makes me very happy indeed. I feel that's when I'm being successful, and that's actually what I want more of. That's what I want more of. I really do want to impact the world. I know it really sounds very idealistic and maybe a little bit, you know, naive, but I can't help that. I actually can't help that.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
But are you working with those girls now, or have you had to let that go for now?
I've had to let go the schools because what we were doing was so overwhelming. Still is so overwhelming. We're not doing so many performances at the minute, although it's going to ramp up later on. This is our season where we are planning the tour, and the logistics of that. It's a mammoth task, and so I will often spend days sending emails, having conference calls, just making sure that, you know, everything is taken care of, along with the team and management and agents. And it's such a lot of strings to be, to be on top of and be across. So I couldn't possibly have to let go of the schools, had to let go of the workshops, and I might start again one day, but it's not for now. I don't think we're in a different season now.
Yes,
season.
And I like that analogy about seasons. You know, that you have different sort of parts of your work, which may mean doing different things at different times. And now is the season to be doing what you're doing now, which is fantastic. I want to talk to you about gospel singing. So, you know, you talking earlier about how music heals, changes people's lives, and the power and the strength of music. What is it about, and you talked about, Stand By Me and how that seemed to move something in people. What is it about gospel music that touches people, even people who don't necessarily have a faith?
First of all, I want to say that I think music generally is very healing. But I think also with gospel music, it's to do with the added themes of hope and love, joy, peace, reconciliation, inspiration. I think that what comes out of our mouth impacts us. When we talk or when we sing, it's not only for the listener, it's for the listener in us as well. And so I feel that when we sing out, we're actually singing in. We're singing to ourselves. And I have seen people singing a song and they're bawling their eyes out. And I know that the song is speaking to them. Ostensibly, they're in a workshop or they're in a community choir and they are rehearsing for a performance. But actually what's being done is being done to and for them. And I do think the themes of gospel music, particularly of love, speak to people very, very powerfully indeed. And, of course, gospel music is a spiritual music. It comes out of something. It comes out of an experience. And the experience, I do believe that we are spirit first more than flesh and blood. I think that, and our spirits are tuned to things, whether we know it or not. It sounds all very Zen, I suppose, and very new age, but I believe that, and I think that gospel music carries a spiritual meaning and healing like no other music. Although I think music generally is very,
no,
very
I would completely agree with you. I think we regardless of what we might believe, we all have a spirituality, and that is what the messages of the music is tapping into, that in each of us, regardless of what we might be thinking or believing. Or I always remember going to a very, very early workshop years ago, not one of yours, but a different gospel singing workshop. And I always remember this woman standing next to me and saying, I don't believe this, but I just have to sing it. I have to sing it. It was just amazing. And I've also seen how you have encouraged so many people to express their voices and to sing out what you were talking about. I have to include myself there as well, and that's that encouragement of people that I've seen you give is such a life affirming, such a great thing. I would like to thank you for that. For all the people you bring that to. Yeah. It's just so powerful.
Thank you for saying that. That's very, very encouraging. Thank you. I didn't expect that.
I wasn't planning to say it, but I just think that is such a gift. And I think, when I sort of catch glimpses of what you're doing now, I just think, oh my gosh, this is so wonderful. This is so fantastic to be bringing what you do so many different places, like you say, to so many different spaces and different people, and it's incredible. So you've got this US tour coming up, which is amazing. Yes. I mean, I don't know how much. I was just thinking this morning how many UK artists want to do something in America, and how hard how incredibly hard that can be. And here you are going over there. So what can you tell us a bit more about what's next, or what what is coming up, and what do you hope to be doing after this, and next year, what do you think's ahead?
Okay, so I have a feeling that there might be more tours up next year, but definitely what we want to be doing and what we started to do is work on new music.
Yeah,
I think it's about time now that that the world heard our voice, because you would know that our album was mostly an album of covers, albeit with a Kingdom Choir twist. But we really want to get some new and original music out. And in fact, on the UK tour, we sung one of our tunes called Real Love, which we hope to release very soon. And it went down a real storm. So, new music, I hope. And there's other things that we want to be building. I'm very, very inspired and impressed by what Stormzy is doing with this platform, creating scholarships and giving people opportunities. And I really, we are of the opinion that the choirs, singing is great and performing is wonderful, but we really do want to make an impact. And if we can do anything like this young man is doing, I'll be very pleased. But that's in the future. But we don't want to just sing. We love singing. We love performing. But really, we there's certain things that we want to go after.
Yes, and you hopefully, well, you will have the platform to do that. I'm sure you will. And Kingdom Choir, do you see Kingdom Choir as something which is for now, or something which can be, you know how there are choirs that go on for like hundreds of years, albeit obviously with different choir directors and so on. But do you see Kingdom Choir continuing like that, possibly, or is it something? Or have you thought about that at all?
Yeah, we think about where we want to be in many years down the road. We think about that, and I think that's possible. And I think if what we like to do comes to pass, then I think it should be something that lasts for many years. I definitely do want to leave a legacy. Yes. We want to leave a legacy. That's not going to happen by it being all about one person, i.e. me. Yeah. We will have to pass things down. And we've begun to do that. It's about empowering, equipping and training. And I'm all for it. Yes. All the way here for it. So, if it's done well, we should be doing what we're doing in 100 years' time or so.
Fantastic. And the world's going to need it. The world's going to need it.
Yeah. You know what? Our strapline on our album is love, hope and inspiration. And I think we're a little bit short on that. And I think that the world can always do with those things.
So if our listeners want to find out more about Kingdom Choir and about what you're doing, where can they find you?
We do have a website, kingdomchoir.com. It's quite easy. We're on Facebook, the Kingdom Choir. We're on Instagram and we're on Twitter. Right. Just look up the Kingdom Choir. Okay, well, and you'll find it.
And do look out for these links in the show notes so that you can find out more about Karen and her amazing choir, and hopefully come to a show near you. You never know. Have a look. That would be great. Karen, thank you so much for being on the show. It's been wonderful to have you, and an honour to have you. And thank you. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much for having me. I really do appreciate it. It's lovely to be able to share again. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the 7 Skills for the Future podcast. You can find all of our episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere where podcasts can be found. If you want to make sure that every new episode ends up on your phone, all you need to do is hit the subscribe button. And while you're there, why not give us a 5-star review so more people can find out about the show? If you'd like to stay in touch or send in one of your questions for Emma Sue, then go to Unimentor on Twitter, 7 Skills for the Future on Instagram, or at unimentor.com. We'd love to hear from you. And of course, there's the book, 7 Skills for the Future, available at booksellers everywhere.